Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the AC Valley Workshop for May 2021. This evening, we will begin with the roll call. Tammy, could you please record the names of the directors present? Tammy, can you do the roll call?
I'm not hearing you, David. I'm going to go ahead. Carrie Armagost. Here. Megan Dreher. I don't know what's going on. I'm not hearing Megan Dreher. Jen Fight. Diane Page.
Here.
Corey Sherman.
Here.
Lena Southworth.
Here.
Jameen Stump.
Here.
Kelly Terwilliger.
Here.
And Mark Vertel.
Here.
Aaron, can you hear me okay up there?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, as a reminder to everybody, just keep your mics off until you're ready to talk, and feel free to just jump in as I work my way down through the agenda, or raise your hand, whatever you're more comfortable with. We'll start with the agenda. Under public participation, we don't have anybody present this evening, and there are no presentations. At this time, are there any board concerns before we move into the consent agenda?
I'm just interrupting to say I'm here. Sorry.
Thanks, Megan. Okay, hearing none, we'll just work our way down through the consent agenda. We have one conference request, and that's from myself, and that's to go to Harrisburg for a legislative trip. I'm part of the Northwestern Superintendent's Collaborative group. The purpose of this particular group is to go to Harrisburg and discuss current educational news, initiatives, and educational challenges that school districts in the northwestern portion of Pennsylvania face. This organization was established in 2015, and we created political presence in Harrisburg. This organization represents 101 school districts, 6 intermediate units, and we serve over 180,000 students. This month, we will be talking about charter school and cyber school reform. We support reform in the charter school funding formula. We support legislation that requires students to attend district-operated cyber programs. And if those parents and students choose to leave, we ask that they pay for a tuition on their own. We also support a cap on charter school funding of $9,500 as proposed by Governor Wolf's budget. In addition, we'll be talking about basic education funding formula. We strongly oppose the governor's proposal to push all the basic education funding through this formula. We support increased funding in K through 12 public schools. Special education funding will also be a point of discussion. The costs continue to increase, and there's no end in sight. We support additional funding for special education to be able to contain and maintain educational costs. Minimum wage, we oppose a sudden and drastic increase. Rather, we encourage a small increase over a 5 to 7 year period. We're also talking about county agency support. We support an increased funding opportunities for local counties to increase services for children, including children and youth services and mental health services that we're all working with our students with at this time. In addition, we'll be talking about the substitute teacher shortage and providing different opportunities, such as the IU guest teacher program, which we'll be talking about a little bit later, and the ability for people with associate's degree to sub. We're all feeling the effects, and we're having a difficult time maintaining effective operation without additional substitute teachers. In addition, I will be talking about our first program to ensure that we have funding to ensure that program continues. Letter B and E under the consent agenda are from the booster groups. We will be retroactively approving this, but letter B is the cheer group, and they held a booster meeting on May 3rd. And then letter E is the softball boosters, and they use the LGI to distribute pepperoni roll fundraisers. Letter C is a request from a Child Evangelism Fellowship, Karen Miller, and it's for a Good News Camp this summer. They're going to pass out flyers to students in grades 1 through 5, and this camp will be held on July 12th through the 16th, 2021. And then letter D came from our first grade teachers. Megan Bashline submitted a request to get the kids up for a bubblegum assembly, and that's in lieu of a field trip. And they're going to be doing various activities, scavenger hunt, face painting, and free play outside, along with a DJ and interactive music. Sounds like a fun time for all to be had. Are there any questions about any of those items before we move down into finance and purchase? Hearing none, we're going to skip letters A through H, and we'll be paying the bills at the voting meeting on May 17th and be provided with more information. Letter I, as I referenced earlier, is a guest teacher consortium fee of $625. We've been part of this consortium for a good number of years. We utilize staff members who have been trained, and they come down here and feel the need of the substitute teacher. So I do strongly encourage us to continue on with that relationship. Letter J is a proposed increase to the substitute teacher pay rates for the 21-22 school year. And this is very similar to IU6 and a handful of other schools in Clarion County. Day 1 through 19 would be $110 per day. Day 20 through 59 would be $120 per day. And then day 60 on would be $130 per day. Letter K, that's our all access membership package for PSBA. There's live and online training. There's a board assessment that comes with this package. There's a comprehensive subscription, and then policy maintenance that we utilize here at AC Valley. And the cost for that membership has not increased since last year. Letter L is just a discussion about the Hvac controls. We're aligned with the UG policy 626, and that's federal fiscal compliance. And we've worked with Zach to get the RFP out. Emmy in the business office had sent that into the newspapers. We have published in 3 different areas, and our date of submission is May 14th at 11 a.m. and we will be opening up bids. So that is a public meeting. We will be in the boardroom, and if anybody from the school board would like to attend, please just show up or give me a call, and I'd like for you to be part of that as well. We will be utilizing a rubric to evaluate the submissions. Now, letter M is the 2021-2022 preliminary budget. And at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Emmy Faust, and she will be sharing her screen and propose any kind of changes to the board.
All right, so first we're going to go over all the changes that I've made since the board meeting of 4/19. I changed the current real estate taxes. I received new assessed values from the county, and I changed the collection rate from 88% to 90%. The reason I changed it, the percentage rate, is I went through all the revenue that we received for real estate taxes, came up with the percentage, and we ended up collecting at a 92% last year, but I'm saying that we're going to collect at 90% for the 2021-22 school year. So that's a increase of the revenue of $70,673. In the state portion, we're still not certain of the public transportation. There's a possible deduction due to not being able to deduct the variable from the contractors, and due to the reduced 41 days to distant learning, may not allow us to receive the 2019-2020 subsidy. So uncertain as to how this will affect our subsidy, I err on the side of caution, and I deducted the $240,388 for the public, and the non-public $6,545. We have reached out to our solicitor, and hopefully we will find something out maybe by this week that I can change this back to how it originally was. The homestead farmstead relief deduction from the state came in at $17 less. And then in the federal portion, the ESSER 2 funds grant came in at $1,539 less than what I had originally had on the budget. So the changes to the revenue came to $177,816 decrease in the revenue. And so our revenue now has come to $14,457,180. In the expenditures, I had to remove the ESSER grant money, and I took that from the maintenance supplies of $1,539. We added to the life skills because we have a contract with Red Bank School District, which we failed to put on the original budget. And so I had to add $23,000 to that. Our healthcare cost was on the original budget at 8.36%, and it came down to 6.12%, which is a savings of $91,155.30. And then the school district will receive an estimated deduction off our first healthcare invoice for the Hvac loyalty, which is an estimated savings of $50,832. Our first grade, I added $4,500 to the sub pay. The Career Center ended up reducing their budget by $10,170. And because of the cafeteria, because of the healthcare decrease, and also the Hvac loyalty that we're going to receive, I also deducted that from the cafeteria, which reduced $2,708. So the changes in the expenditures was a decrease of $128,904.30. So our total expenditures after the change is $16,419,332. The estimated dollar amount that we're over in the budget is $1,562,152. Is there any questions on that? If not, then we'll go right into the general fund budget. This is the PDE 2028 form, and the first page.
Sorry, Emma, to interrupt. Is there any way that could be made a little bit bigger? I'm having a hard time seeing the screen. This is Jameen. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I see you, Jameen.
I feel like I'm like right up against the screen.
Up at the top there, Emmy, you see where it says 100% in the middle?
To the left or to the right?
Right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
Yep, see where it says 100% and there's a plus and a minus there? You can click on that and make it bigger. Click on the plus.
I don't see it.
Right in that gray bar there.
I don't have it, Aaron.
Oh, unless this is behind.
Oh, maybe it's. How do I get that out there?
It's behind that, I'll betcha.
How about if I do that more? Do you think it will come anything there?
Jameen, you should be able to make it bigger on your end as well. I can.
Can you? Okay, I'll try.
So where is my screen to move this thing around? It was here.
I'll stop down.
He's coming back.
Okay. Sorry, Aaron.
Okay, I got it bigger on mine, Emmy, if you can't get it.
Okay. But I should have, like I normally do this on my laptop, and today I did it on my actual computer, and my screen isn't here to rotate this. Well, this is the certification showing that our fund balance, and I can't read it. This just states that because our fund balance, because our budget is in between the 16 million and the 16,999,000, we are allowed to have 9.5% into our unassigned fund balance. I can't get this to turn either.
Oh, let's get here.
Oh, there.
And you got your
Okay.
rotate there, and then you see you can.
Oh,
do
okay.
plus and stuff,
Okay.
whatever you need to rotate.
So let's rotate this and then like,
There you go.
is that better?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Thanks, Aaron. Okay, so because our budget is between the 16 million and the 16,999,000, we're allowed to have 9.5% in our unassigned fund balance. So all this states is, did you raise your property taxes? We're saying yes, we are. And this is the 16,419,332 is our expenditures. The ending unassigned fund balance is going to be 445,314. It's saying that we're at 2.71 in our unassigned fund balance, and the estimated ending unassigned fund balance is within the allowable limits. Yes. Dr. McDivitt will sign off on this and date it after the budget has been approved. This report is just that we're certifying that we put our budget on the PDE 2028. And our school president, Jen Hvac, will sign off on this. This page, once the budget has been approved, I will enter the date that it was approved for justification. And then they ask 2 justifications as to what we're using our unassigned fund balance and what we were using our assigned fund balance. And I put the justification out, and you can read that whenever you want to. The next portion is the beginning fund balance. We put 200,000 in the non-spendable fund balance, which is for inventory. We're saying that we have an assigned fund balance of 1,585,173. And an unassigned fund balance at the beginning of the 21-22 school year of 1,553,692. I'm going to bring this down just a little bit. And then these are this is the total of the fund balance, 3,138,865. This is what we plan to collect under local revenue of 4,381,034, state 9,422,500, and 1,053,646 in federal. When you add the 2 up, the total dollar of revenue that we should have is 17,996,045. The next pages are line item by line item, our local sources, and the total that we just saw on the front page, our state line items for each revenue that we're expected to receive, and then our federal money, coming up to a grand total revenue of 14,857,180. The next page breaks down our millage. And all it does is, this is last year's millage, the assessed values and the mills that were set for the last school year or the school year that we're in right now. Then I come down, we put in the new assessed values and the stead market values, and it calculates it out to the new real estate tax revenue going to the 4.1 index. Armstrong County would be at 33.31, Butler would be at 70.11, Clarion would be at 56.88, and Venango would be at 13.96. Estimated dollar amount that we should receive for Revenue from real estates would be 3,777,213. You subtract off the homestead farmstead dollar amount that we plan to get, brings it down to 3,496,797. You take it at the 90% that we plan to collect at. Our total dollar amount is 3,147,117. On the next page, what you look for is millage rate within the index. And in Armstrong, we are okay. Butler, Clarion, and Venango, everything is yes. If there's a no there, then we have a problem. So everything's fine with our millage. This part is the assessed values exclusion for the per homestead. The homesteads for this year, we have 1,533 homestead farmsteads that were approved. Out of that, we had 39 that were partials. So there's 1,494 that get the full dollar amount. In Armstrong County, there was 188 approved. Butler was 165, Clarion 585, and Venango County 595. This is the assessed value that will be placed on each bill, the deduction, and I'm coming up with a homestead farmstead dollar amount of $184.90, which is about $1.39 more than what they received in homestead farmsteads last year. So the state property tax reduction for the allocation that they gave us was $279,808. We had $608 left from homestead farmsteads that did not get used from the school 2021 school year. So I had $280,416 to distribute among the 1,533 properties. This page indicates this is the taxable assessed values. You take that times the millage. You get what each county, we expect to get from each county for real estate dollar amount. Like Armstrong, we're looking at $325,733, Butler $516,755, Clarion $1,086,514, and Venango County $1,848,211, coming out to the $3,777,213. You minus out the homestead farmstead dollar amount, then you get your exclusion, homestead exclusion dollar amount. You take that times 89.99, and it comes out to what we expect to get for real estate revenue, $3,147,117. The other dollar amount, the Act 511, the per capitas, we're looking to get around $14,070, and also in this Section 679, 1407D. We're looking to get in the Act 511, the earned income tax, about $510,000. And real estate tax transfer, we're looking around $60,000. This page just shows the percentage change from last year to this year for each county. And it states that we are less than or equal to the index, and we are, and our index was at 4.1%. The next is all the expenditures. And so this is the total breakdown of the instructional. It's at $9,677,065. Your support services is $5,317,310. Your non-instructional services is $387,710. We got our facilities at 507,480. And then our transfers at 529,767, coming to the expenditures of 16,419,332. The next breakdown breaks each line item down from your salaries, from the 100s down to your 700s, and then your totals were just what I just went over on the page before. So this just breaks it down line item to line item. The next pages are just estimated dollar amounts for different areas, is to ending June 30th, 2021, and then a projected amount as to what we may be at 6/30/2020. And so I've done those calculations out. And the next several pages, this is our long-term indebtedness, what our bonds estimated, what our bonds would be at the end of June 30th, 2021, and what we projected out at June 30th, 2022. Also, accumulated compensated absences and other post-employment benefits. And then the last page is just the fund balance. It shows what we, after taking all the deductions from adding your revenues for the budget and then taking off all the expenditures, it calculates what we would have left in our assigned fund balance is $1,131,399, and the unassigned would be $445,314. We're looking at having a total of $1,776,713 left in our fund balance at the end of 21-22. Is there any questions? We still have this week. We'll be working on the budget. So then on Monday at the board meeting, we'll have to approve the preliminary budget, and it will go out onto our web. I also take a copy down to the Foxbrook Library. It will go out for public viewing. Okay.
Thank you. I mean, we appreciate your attention to detail. Any discussions about finance and purchase before we move into personnel at this time? Hearing none, we'll dive right into it. Letter A and B, we have a request for unpaid leave by 2 part-time employees. And then letter C is a job description for the district secretary for a 3-hour per day, 200 days per year job. We built that using the information that Megan had provided with us as she moved down into the elementary. And just keep in mind that we reduced that position from full-time into a 3-hour position due to declining enrollment. Letter D, we did have 3 applicants for this part-time secretary position that the administration interviewed today. I will be talking with Bill and Lori, and we will be making a recommendation to hire on Monday the 17th. Letter E is a letter of resignation from the assistant varsity cheerleading coach, Jada Collins, and then letter F will be advertising for that vacancy. Letter G is a request from an employee for paid maternity leave. As you can see, the employee is looking to be back at the end of August. She will use all the emergency sick and personal days in requesting FMLA until November 15th, 2021. Letter H, that's the agreement that we have with the Key Solutions Educational Staffing, and that's for Tim Dadich, our Special Education Director. The agreement itself is virtually the same. There is a slight increase in hourly rate. Tim's been doing a nice job for us, and we're looking to extend that relationship. Letter I, that's a MOA with the association and the Allegheny Clarion Valley School District for the math coaching position. And we do have Trevor Howe right below that agenda item who had submitted a letter of intent. So the MOA basically states that Trevor, whenever the grant goes away and if the position is eliminated at that time, he'll move back into his fourth grade position that he had left. Letter J is a recommendation to transfer Trevor Howe from fourth grade into the math coaching position. Trevor's very excited about the opportunity, and his training and skill set should be an asset to the district and not only work with students, but also teaching staff. And then letter K is the motion to advertise to fill the FMLA request and then also fill Trevor Howe's fourth grade position. And we'll be advertising that simultaneously. Letter L, that's a statement of work for instructional services with Edgenuity, and that's a third-party cyber vendor that the AC Valley Cyber Service Program will be utilizing. We currently use Lincoln Interactive right now, and this will provide Julie with additional opportunities. And then also, if we have a larger number of students going out into that program, we'll be able to meet everybody's needs. This past year, we did run into problems because our current Lincoln Interactive was full and we couldn't enroll any other students. So Julie did a lot of work. Dr. Jordan and myself sat through a presentation and we're making a recommendation to approve the new agreement. We have a number of volunteers that we're reapproving, and that's for the community garden. And this Saturday, May 15th at 1 o'clock, there's going to be a grand reopening of the garden. So I do encourage all board members and community members to meet us up at the high school. And we are approving these volunteers. It'll be Selena Petty, Rachel Brosnahan, Sarah Buzzard, and Jared Ewer. They'll be working amongst other AC Valley staff and community members up there to get the garden going and also to maintain it. Letter Q is a request by one of our aides, and it's a unpaid leave request for the dates listed on that motion. And then letter R came to us late. We did get notification from PSBA about electing a school board secretary every 4 years, and the term will begin July 1st, 2021. So Tammy does a fantastic job for us out there, and through the notification from PSBA, we have that recommendation in front of you as well. So before I move into instructional services, we covered a number of items under personnel. Are there any questions for myself?
A couple of things, David, that I just want to make sure I understand. For Edgenuity, that is going to be in addition to Lincoln Learning, correct? So
That's correct.
that will have more seats.
Correct, yes.
Okay, good. And then have we gotten anybody for the varsity cheerleading head coach position, as we're, I think you and I had discussed about wanting the head coach to be a part of the rest of those discussions. Have we gotten any about that yet?
No, not at this time. I see Dr. Jordan's on here. Maybe he can help answer that question as well, but no, I don't have anything.
I do believe we have one candidate that has expressed interest.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Jen. Moving down through the agenda under instructional services, the new course offerings that Dr. Jordan spoke about in April is in front of you with a curriculum for the environmental science classes. That will be offered to students in grades 10 through 12, and that's in your packet. If there's any questions, we can entertain those at this time. Letter B is a communication protocol for coaches and parents. And the athletic committee has worked on that. And just in an effort to increase communication amongst everybody, we developed some guidelines and good practices that we're going to add into the athletic handbook as an addendum. But we feel as if that need needs to be taken care of right now. And to finish off successfully for the school year, we have that protocol in front of you to be approved this evening. Once approved, it will be added to the athletic handbook as we move into the 21-22 school year. And then letter C is the MOU with the Allegheny Clarion Valley School District and the Allegheny Clarion Valley First Program. And that's a long-standing agreement that Dr. Lucas Savage and Marcia Lucas Savage had created years ago. And we work very closely with Maria and the gals. They provide an excellent opportunity for our young families in the area. I did talk to Maria on several occasions about the concern for future funding. And that will be one topic that I will be advocating for in Harrisburg. It just, I can't even believe right now we're having the discussion that they may not be funded in the future. So that's a very difficult time for not only the families, but also the employees for that program. So we'll continue to support Maria and her program as we move forward, and I will keep you updated. We don't have anything under policy or facilities. I see Mark Milford's on tonight. Mark, is there anything you want to add at this time?
No, I think we covered everything, David.
Thank you, Mark. Under transportation, we just have two items. Kelly Stavanis had issues with her 2015 Kia, and she had upgraded to a 2021 Kia Sorento. And we're just documenting that, and the contracts are in front of you as well. Under miscellaneous, we do have a discussion about the Clarion County Career Center budget. Tracy Wilderson and the staff up at the Career Center has worked very closely with the GOC and the superintendents to keep the costs low. She actually reduced the overall cost of that budget by 2.768%. So the cost for AC Valley has decreased as well, primarily because we have less students going up, but in the effort to reduce the overall cost, it actually helped lower our cost as well. So kudos to Tracy and her group up at the Career Center. Letter E, we have a number of cooperative agreements that we'll be approving on Monday the 17th. That's coordination of bands, cross country, junior high football, varsity football, and JV football, as well as golf. And members from the AC Valley Athletic Committee met with members from the Union School District, and we had a very productive discussion this past month, and we're in agreement to continue on. All the agreements have strong support from both sides. We're just working on increasing communication and ensuring that we're meeting the needs of all our students. And you'll also see that we have all these agreements together. So junior high football, if you recall, we started off early, so it was a year earlier than the other agreements. So right now we have all the agreements in front of you so that we can approve them on a regular basis and we don't forget about anything. We're still working on a couple minor details, and our athletic committee will be meeting tomorrow night to discuss it. So we'll have those finalized in front of the board here at AC Valley in May. We'll sign off on them when approved, and then we'll send them over to Union, and they're hoping to approve them in June as well. So really happy to report that, and really happy that we had a productive meeting with the officials over at Union. Any questions about those agreements before we move on? Hearing none, moving down through, we did have a finance committee meeting. We had Greg Sanford in today. He talked about the healthcare benefit package. We worked with Emmy and Andrea to review the budget, and we're also talking about a number of contracts that are due in June. So we felt like we had a very productive discussion today. There's a lot of work that needs to be done amongst the administration and the school board members here as we move into June and then into the final year of our contract with both the professional staff and support staff. Any questions on anything that I've covered thus far in the meeting? I do have one item that we'll be adding on Monday, the 17th, and I'd like to address that under new business, and that's our electric supply agreement. We were contacted today by Don Wuchik, and our current agreement is up in December 2021, and we're paying 0.04573 per kilowatt. The contract prior to that, we paid 0.0520, and then the contract prior to that was 0.0627. There's a dip in the market right now, so we have a very low price that we'd like to move into a new agreement with, and that's going to be a 0.05408, and that's a 24-month agreement, and that would be from December 2021 to December 2023. Don's going to continue to work on the market. He'll pull off the final numbers here midday on Monday, May 17th. And we're making a recommendation that we extend that contract out with these low rates. As everybody knows, we're moving into hurricane season. You know, we've had some different issues out there that could impact these costs moving forward. So Don does a really nice job with us and gave us the heads up, and I just wanted to share that with the school board at this time, just to see if anybody's opposed to it or if we want to continue to move forward, and we can add that under finance and purchase for Monday the 17th.
I don't see any issue with it, David. Or does he feel like it's going to be going down for a bit yet? I mean, should we give you approval like we've done in the past to make a decision when it hits the low, what we believe will be sort of the lowest point to move, or do you want to go with whatever it is on the 17th?
Jim, we had that discussion. I'm glad you brought that up. He's concerned about this summer and then into the fall with those prices actually increasing. So we talked, and it would be my recommendation that we lock in at this particular price before we go too much further into the summer time. The hurricane season may increase the cost, who knows, with terrorism or whatever it may be. So I know we've done that in the past several times with the gas contract, but I'd make a recommendation that we lock in for the extension on Monday the 17th.
Okay, sounds good to me.
Thanks, Jen. That's all that I have. Is there anything else that needs to be addressed at this time by any of the board members?
Does do any of the board members have comments or questions in terms of the budget? We're getting down to the final week here to make changes to that. So, you know, I know that there was some emails going through back and forth with just some questions and, you know, comments about, you know, folks and what their thoughts are. Does anybody want to discuss that at this particular point? You know, because if we want changes to be made, we need to have that and direct that for Emmy right now, because come Monday night, we want to be able to sign that and get that on display so that we have it out for the 30 days.
So this budget does not include using ESSER money to replace any of our costs that we can.
We have ESSER 2 money in there, Kelly, but that ESSER 3 money that we talked about, the guidelines have not been set. So no, we haven't put that money one way or the other into the budget. Now, as that money gets released, guidelines are extended into next year, doesn't mean that we can't use it. It just is not part of the budget right now.
So as we go on and we find out what they're allowed and what they're not allowing, we could supplant monies then next school year, and if we need to.
Quite possibly, you know, depending on what those guidelines were. We've made a lot of phone calls, and I finally talked to Ken Krawczyk from PDE, and he told us to hold off until we get further guidance on that. But if that's permissible, then absolutely, that's something that we can have a discussion about.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Jen. And if there's no other questions, then we'll go ahead and finish off the meeting, and we'll be back face-to-face on May 17th at 6 p.m. in the elementary cafeteria. Thank you all. Have a great night.
Thanks. Have a good evening.
Night,
Thanks.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, good night.
night.